All right. It is time for another episode of Diamond in the Rough. His victim in this game up here in the top left-hand side of the map. Let's hope that he is as swift as the wind. Down here in the bottom right-hand side of El Submarino, it is, of course, the one and only Ruff. Dude, is that like a zipper? Is it like a zipper on the side of the command center? What is that? Kind of looks like one, eh? Beautiful command center there. Of course, the Zerg looking fleshy and steamy and toothy, as always. You know what, guys? Let's very quickly turn me damaged health bars on. Prefer to cast with that. Don't have as many things blocking us looking at the aesthetics of the game. It's a steamy hatchery, isn't it? Oh, what the hell? Can we not see the scorpion in there on these graphic settings? These graphic settings are actually so high, I can't even see the scorpion swimming around inside. Or maybe it's the skin? I don't know. Oh, that's a shame. I normally like being able to see the scorpion swim around in circles on the inside of the hatchery. Oh, there it is. Okay, you just can't see it at the start. Look at it! Look at it go! Oh, I'm swimming. I'm going to be the biggest hatchery that there ever was. Yeah, this is great. Yeah. The drone kind of evolves and he has this big scorpion tail and just swims in circles. It's like the center of the centrifuge. That's how a hatchery gets built. And interestingly enough, guys, this is a barracks gas tech lab factory into a tech lab barracks into a factory opening for Ruff. So Marauders and Cyclones could both come out of this, both of which are rather shite against Zerg. And yet he's building a Marauder early. Okay. All right. This is a bizarre opening from Ruff. But then again, aren't they always? The Overlords have scoured the map. You can see these different arcs. They've kind of looked for proxy barracks. This one as well. Now arriving over the natural expand. And it is going to be an expansion just about 30, 40 seconds later than it would normally be. The Marauder's going to come out and say, "Get out of here, Overlord. Ha-ha." Does he build a reactor there to get Hellions? Or does he's going to go Marauder Cyclone? I mean, Ling speed's starting up. So the problem here is if your opponent just builds around a Lings, they surround those units. The barracks almost looks like it's floating down to chase off the Overlord, but nothing shoots up here. He's building a tank. Oh, so this is just the safest play of all time. Okay, so Ruff shows him the Marauder is like, what am I going to do with that, buddy? Ha ha ha. And does one Marauder beat 4 Lings? Only if it gets back to the mineral line. But the Lings split up. They're going to go for that. Oh, that one SCV doing well. Does hide. And this Marauder. Okay, one SCV, sorry, goes down. But that's no big deal. Ruff can get building that. His tank can siege on the high ground. He hasn't brought another SCV down, which means he's going to hit a supply block here. A little bit slow. Hurry, Drilly Boy. Finish the depot before the supply block hits. And as he hits 31, depot finishes and immediately goes to 4 gases because this man is obsessed with tech. And you know what? I think Wind is playing this just fine. Droning really hard. A quick third base on the way here. Not especially quick, but quick enough. And a little bit of a supply block for Wind as well, but already being up 9 workers. Creep being really far out. Overlord see just about everything. I mean, if you play this static and defensively as Ruff, you do give up some things. There's no quick third command center. Even your natural is kind of slow. This costs you something. Now, he's going to go very quick into battlecruisers behind this, which is cool. But look at Wind's scouting. Wind's already on 4 queens, going up to 6. Is going to see the fusion core when it's just starting. And that gives you so much time to prepare. The lair starts up. Wind, of course, can then start up a Spire and get Corruptors to counter the battlecruisers. This one Marine will get rid of that Overlord, but Ruff already looking to be in a very defensive stance. He's making an armory, so I think he's going to get a ship attack. He loves to give those battlecruisers damage. Oof, really utilize their jumps. And a second factory queues up, so he's not going to double down. Cancels a fusion core, and he says, fuck it, let's go 3 factory. Let him build as many queens and spores and corruptors as he wants. We're going to go ground mech, but still only on 2 command centers. And I look at this and I wonder, what sort of push could you bring out here? he could do a 2-base 5 factory push. So if he gets a 5th factory up, gets a reactor on one, some tech labs on the others, just do a really surprising sort of like 8 siege tank push. So you get 2 rounds of tanks, rally the 3rd one in, and just kind of get over there while they're trying to be a greedy Zerg who's trying to like drone the 4th up or something like that. Of course, you want lots of tanks if it's all roaches, and you want to get Thors out and potentially mines if it's mutas. And with a quick spire to counter the battle cruisers, mutas is an ever-present threat. So Ruff's scouting and the direction he picks over the next few minutes is going to be really important. Hero Marine actually gets a creep tumor, well done. Tries to walk past the queens. The queens are like, oh yes, be about your business, good sir, your papers do check out. Ruff's like, holy shit, dude, what? Okay, that Marine does go down, but he sees that there's not many drones on the 3rd, and Wind here has actually not taken the economic advantage, despite an absence of pressure from Ruff. Ruff's reputation precedes him, and the Zerg player, afraid to overdrone, has a pack of lings, has an abundance of queens, and is kind of not really getting ahead. That being said, amazing spore coverage, right? 1 in each mineral line. And well-timed spy, well-timed queens is really well prepared for that battle cruiser, right? That battle cruiser, you guys know what I'm talking about, that battle cruiser. Yeah, the starport's built literally nothing all game long. Ruff has mind-gamed his opponent. He's got a couple tanks, a couple Thors, still no 3rd command center, and 4 factory production. It's going to be Blue Flame, Hellion, Thor tank push. This could be a hard one, so he's building Corruptors blind. Wind, you got to pay attention to what you're playing against, mate. Wind, oh no, Wind has been completely tricked. Is in a great economic spot. Upper full base mining, taking a 4th, but you need to actually build the correct units at some point. In this case, it's just build a lot of Roach Ravager, you'll be fine. The Zerg is like, Corruptors, Corruptors, Corruptors. I mean, if you go across, you could pee on a base, you could do some harassment. They're not completely worthless, but they're definitely not what you want right now. Still no roaches. Okay, Wind. We're just massing Corruptors with a handful of lings right now. The Overseer sees this whole army building up. You've got all the information you could possibly want. Only now starts building roaches is like, oh shit. Yes, there's SCVs to hit to repair. There's 3 Thors, 4 tanks, a whole bunch of Hellbats. This is a scary army. And I think if you're out there ambushing it with Ravagers, forcing the tanks to siege, it's not too hard. But because those units weren't ready, Wind is like, oh shit. And this allows Ruff, he's going to be able to siege up on this base. Wind may need to just pull the drones over to the other expansion and give it up because he doesn't have Ravagers yet. He spent all of his gas on Corruptors, which absolutely should be run buying. Great counter backstab here. A bit of a run by from Wind. Gets into the natural. And then F2s them home. No! The panic F2. The power of a player whose control groups are just, never removed the Zerglings from the control group. It's just one of these players who says, yes, I use control groups. F2, control 1. And you're like, that's not using control groups, you dummy. Oh. He's going to try to ambush some nice biles. The queens are going to come in behind. Those 2 tanks need to go down. The roaches and ravagers are getting slaughtered. The tanks are all gone, though. I think there's 1 siege tank there. Okay, 1 siege tank remains, but the queens are all gone. The Corruptors are running back and forth overhead, and they realize, wait, we don't attack down. Oh, Wind has totally screwed the pooch here and hasn't rebuilt the Roach Warren. That Roach Warren's going to go down. Uh-oh. Roaches are popping out into combat right now. Mules are dropping to repair. That 1 Thor very close to dying. The repairs do start to... Oh, the mules. Barely repairing that Thor. It's on 30 hit points. It's on 50, 70, 100. And Wind goes down to the 1,600 minerals and 400 gas in the back. Do a 2-base mech push. Oh. Oh, it's so funny. It's that moment you're like, why isn't the battlecruiser here yet? It should have been here 2 minutes ago. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, getting a full base ahead economically is quite greedy normally. Against mech, it's fine. But if you do that and you build a lot of Corruptors, imagine if there was just 5 or 6 Ravagers to come forward and start dropping biles on this army now. He could have slowed this push down so much, especially on a small map. But if you don't have Ravagers like that, oof, you're going to be in trubs. I think Wind could have given up this base, like I mentioned, build a Roach Warren back here, and just been skirmishing with this as much as possible. Maybe could have cancelled +1 flyer attacks to get a few more Ravagers. But you're going to see here that Win does two big mistakes. Pulls the Lings back, and then it's like, and then doesn't even properly give up the base. You can tell that it was a panic pull of the drones, whereas I would have pulled those drones knowing I couldn't have taken the fight earlier. And that would have, I think, made the difference. There's lava, but is not injecting the hatcheries and is not continuing to build here. So you can tell that Wind is in full panic mode and should already be up there and fighting this, right? So the whole thing here is Wind is trying to go for one big surround. But when you're like this, where you just need to buy time for another minute or two, all you want to do is you want to push forward, bile, force siege, pull back. Push forward, kill a Hellbat, pull back, right? Because you can kill the SCVs, the Hellbats, without really engaging the tanks and Thors. You can bile the tanks as they're sieging, pick off one or two. So if you even just biled that tank and pull back, you could keep doing that over and over again. And you'd really see just how powerful Ravagers are versus mech. But a very nice play from Ruff there. Going for a quick battlecruiser opening, gets scouted, says, okay, cancels the fusion core, swaps completely into a 2-base mech all-in, and crushes the opponent. Don't ever say that you can't play the game different, guys. Ruff shows us every single day that you can do it at a GM level. GG, well played, Ruff. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.